So, welcome everybody. It has been 2 years of FPP. Can you guys believe we're here already? We've had
All right.
we had the two pilots go out. We had the first season of the Found Tunes go up with our stunning season finale Boneless Chicken went up on Valentine's Day, and we also have quite a few more surprises in the works. If you're in the Found Tunes team, you've already seen a bit of what's going on. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, and we do have a few more shorts um, in the works to come out soon, hopefully. Uh, we have, if you haven't seen, we have our new program, Project Z. Shout out to that whole team. Everybody there is killing it. That's our new extra shorts program that exists to pack everybody's portfolio. We want to make sure people here are getting, the work they want to fill up their portfolios and, quality stuff. We have oh yeah, shout out to Sky and Jason and Working Dreamer and Maru and Chloe. Sorry, Chloe, you're not there. all the many people there. I can't list all the names. Oh, but we got about 30 people on Project Z already, and they're absolutely killing it over there. Oh yeah. And first, I want to give a big shout out to the translation team. We have a worldwide team here, and we had 10 people come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, we have all these languages we speak, let's help you guys out. I can't, I can hardly believe how many languages we have. Uh, so I'm happy to announce if you go on the Boneless Chicken today, we now have 8 languages available for Boneless Chicken up on YouTube. All thanks to the hard work of the subtitle team. Dinah did all the subtitles on the YouTube. Thank you to the translators, Avi, Boppy, Clotilde, Kylie, Sky, Nakimushi, and Mari. You guys are absolutely legends, and I look forward to us getting all the shorts translated. We're gonna tackle Underdog soon. That's gonna be the next the next big undertaking. So keep an eye out for that, and spread it around to your friends. Let's get FPP big across the world. That's the goal here. And uh, you didn't hear it from me, but we might have a Spanish dub in the works as well.
Hey yo, ¿qué pasó? ¿En español?
Sí, sí. So keep an eye out for that. And before I hand it over to Mr. F, I just want to shout out the website team. We're working on a major rehaul of the website, getting it updated, getting all the projects on there. Of course, our webmaster Sheppy in charge of that, doing the entire website by hand, by themselves. We have Jason on that team now as well. He's been helping out with the graphic design and programming, and then Alex Acacia, head of cybersecurity at the studio. I want to make sure everybody knows them and has them in their friend list. Make sure they know you. They're monitoring the web for email leaks, for password leaks. The channel where we had everybody drop their emails and their contact information. They have the list of all those emails, and they're making sure there's no web leaks and such to ensure FPP security. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tag Alex in the chat there if you want to make sure they're in your friend list. Oh yeah. So thank you everybody for coming today, and I'll hand it over to Mr. F.
What can I say? What's up, party people? It's your old pal F here. No, honestly, it's interesting because I've been thinking about how do I want to begin this discussion. First of all, thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you for being here. To the people who aren't here right now that might have liked to be here because you're in some sort of time zone or something where this was just undoable. It's one of the reasons I'm hoping we can record this and put this up in some capacity. But even if you're not here, um, I really I cannot overstate how grateful I am to each and every one of you. And it's amazing to me. How many people do we have here right now? 30 something, just in this chat alone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for caring enough to even show up to something like this, because um, as I've said many times before, I kind of started this thing almost as a lark, and I thought that maybe 10 or 11 people would be interested, and of those 10 or 11 people, 5 of them would drop off, and I sort of imagined that this whole thing was going to fizzle out in a couple of months. So the fact that it's been 2 years and we're still here, we're not just still here, moving and growing and expanding and getting better at what we do. The fact that this is still going on just blows my mind. And again, I cannot thank you all enough. I don't care if you started yesterday. I don't care if you've been here from the very beginning. Um, this entire program exists on the shoulders of people who have come and gone and come back and gone again and come back and gone again. The backbone of this program has always been, we're only going to do this in so much as it's fun, and in so much as it is not intrusive in our lives, and in so much as we can have a good time doing it, but also in as much as we can learn while we're doing it. And I think in a 2 years period, oh my gosh, the things that we've learned, um, and the growth that we've experienced, and the feedback that we've gotten, and the responses that we've enjoyed, these are all because of you great people. And I have just the utmost admiration for all of you, because one of the things that I have told people, I've written this in cover letters to people who've gone on to leave this program because they got jobs, and I've said this to my friends in the industry. Just the fact that you are here at all shows a type of gumption and enthusiasm and seriousness about wanting to hone your craft that is sorely missing out there today. There are lots of people who want to get into the animation industry, but they don't want to get their hands dirty, and they don't want to get their feet wet, and they don't want to engage with any other metaphors that involve them doing anything other than becoming overnight sensations. Many people do not realize just how much you have to work in order to achieve your goals, and how sometimes it is stuff like this. It is the stuff that can be grueling and confusing and all that sort of thing that um, that provide you with the most valuable learning experiences. So, and that's one thing. When I started this, I sort of automatically uh, knew that there were going to be people who right out of the gate were going to be like, "You're taking advantage of people, and you're making them work for you for free." And first of all, I would like to think that we've created an environment that's fun enough that nobody feels like they're being tortured here. Secondly, I do the math with how much um, I've learned in seeing this all occur. I can only do the math and begin to imagine how much you have all learned, and and again, I think there's nothing like learning by doing. And unlike other, internship programs or programs, I know Don Bluth has a program. Lots of people have programs, but along in those programs comes a whole lot of baggage and a whole lot of stress. Whereas, here we are here to make mistakes. We're a mistake factory, and we should be grateful for that, because that's what's giving us the experience that each and every one of you, and myself included, we're all gonna. I hope we never walk away from this, but I hope every day it occurs to us like, oh wow, I had to wrestle with this today, or I had to deal with that today. That experience um, is priceless. And I don't care if you went to Cal Arts, I don't care if you went to Sheridan, I don't care where you went to school, or if you went to school at any of those places, they are not going to provide you with this kind of experience. And even if you're part of another internship program where you're paying to be part of it, you're still not going to walk out with a sense of ownership and with a sense of community, the kind that I feel like we have to offer here. And again, I apologize if this sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not, because it's you guys that have made this happen. And um, I'm going to get a tiny bit personal here to sort of illustrate to you guys just uh, what this program has come to mean to me. Probably very few people apart from Tiger even know about this, but about a year ago, no, it was actually, it was 2 years ago. It was literally uh, the August after we started this program. So 3 months after we started this, um, my life was torn asunder in ways that I'm not going to go into detail about because I will start bawling. Like, my entire family was thrown into a horrifying situation, and our lives were upended. And I have a 9-year-old girl, so just ponder that for a minute. Our lives were absolutely upended, and I truly didn't know what life was going to look like in another couple of years for all of us. Me, my wife, and my daughter. I had no idea. I didn't know if we were going to lose our home. I didn't know if we were going to have to move again. I just didn't know what the future held. But with all of that going on, one of the places, because by the way, when it happened, I had considered myself up to that point ostensibly retired from animation, and this program was going to be my little pet project, and that's how I was going to spend my retirement years, was just working on this. And but then our whole family and our whole situation got upended, and I had to find myself shifting gears and going, you got to get to work again, and you've got to hustle, because you are not in LA anymore. You can't just walk across the street from Disney to Warner Brothers or from Nickelodeon to Cartoon Network and hope to get a job. And by the way, in the past couple of years, we've all seen what a giant dump the industry has taken, and I've seen people that I came up through the ranks with, people who are incredibly, incredibly experienced, can't find jobs. So, um, I'm here in North Carolina. I'm not even in Los Angeles. So, um, you know, uh, 1 year and 9 months ago, I had to shift gears and I had to start hustling like a madman just to keep our heads above water, just to keep a roof over our heads, and just to keep life kind of normal. And while all that was going on, um, my mind was just always in I have to hustle mode. I have to repair this mode. I have to fix everything mode. But there was one place that I could go, and I could just um, watch you guys and watch what you were up to and watch what the studio was doing. And whenever I came into this server and whenever I saw what was going on, it the anxiety disappeared, and I was reminded that even among all the chaos that had become my life, there was this wonderful thing happening that I'm a part of. And I see this now that the dust has settled and things are basically okay. Um, I see this as one giant collaborative experimental art project that you're in with me and I'm in with you, and we're all working together for this. And um, it was my happy place for the better part of the last 2 years, was just coming here and forgetting about everything else and seeing all the amazing stuff that you guys have made and continue to make. And again, when I say from the bottom of my heart, I mean it. You guys are my extended family now, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you for 2 years You have worked and toiled and shown your mettle, and it is just so admirable. And I have such a joyous time these days when I talk to anyone else in the industry, or even when I talk to just, other Gen Xers, um, like myself, who, or for that matter, Gen Yers or Boomers, who like to talk about, you know, uh, how listless this current generation is. I love saying to them, "Oh no, you are wrong. I've got an entire group of people who are churning and burning the midnight oil just to make tremendous art." And again, the fact that you guys do this at all, the fact that you knocked on our door, like, I'll write a letter of recommendation if you were here for one day, because just the act of coming in and testing the waters and seeing what we're about, that shows more initiative, and that shows more enthusiasm, that shows more seriousness than so many other people out there who are waiting for their careers to come to them. You guys are seizing the day. And one of the major things that I talk about when I go around and do lectures, and one of the main things that I've talked about when everybody questions, well, what about AI? What about AI? Oh my gosh, AI is going to take over. Um, One of the things that I feel like we are doing here that nobody else is doing is we are cementing the thing that is going to make it impossible for AI to ever do what you can do. Because we are here, um, as an experiment, because we're all here to sort of find our artistic voices. You are going to find that part of you, as I found in me when I started out in the industry, and when I was allowed to make mistakes, and when I was allowed to experiment. You're going to find that part of you that you can bring to any production that absolutely nobody else can bring. And I have long said that that is the only reason I was able to break into the industry at all, and it's the only reason I was able to have the success that I had. Was because I will tell anyone who listen, my drawing is mid at best. And now my storyboarding is better than average. But I came into it with a set of experiences that nobody else had quite had. I had done things that nobody else had done. I'd done comic strips, comic books. I had done improv comedy. I had done public speaking. I'd done all these different things. And so I brought a set of experiences, and I knew coming into the industry, here is what I'm bringing that no one else will bring. And I feel like this place gives us all the opportunity to, if we know what those things are, fine tune them. And if we don't know what they are, this is your opportunity to figure it out. Every single one of you, and by the way, I'm not just talking about artists here. I'm talking about the people who, the voice actors. I'm talking about sound designers, musicians, our web crew, the people, as Tiger mentioned earlier, doing the non-English dubs. Every single person here, this is an opportunity to figure out what it is that makes you unique. And so hopefully when you walk away from this experience, you'll be able to go into an interview and go, yeah, okay, here's what I can do, and here's what I can do that absolutely nobody else can do. So I feel like the emergence of AI, I feel like none of you should be afraid of it, because within this program you have the opportunity to find that unique voice that nobody else has, and if you've already found it, you have the chance to hone it. And we're not only going to encourage it, we're going to celebrate it. One of the things that surprised me most when I started this program was, for legal reasons, um, I made the decision early on. Okay, we're only going to do stuff that I created, because I don't have the time or the effort or the inclination to deal with lawyers. And so we're just going to do stuff that I created, so that we don't have to talk about copyrights, we don't have to talk about this, we don't have to talk about that. And it occurred to me very early on. It's like, ooh, how's that going to feel? Handing stuff that you created off to other people and saying, go and run with it. Well, much to my surprise, that has been my favorite part of all this, is watching you guys take my stuff and make magic with it. And look, I know there's a lot of people who create their own thing, but there's a lot of people in this industry who don't want to necessarily be creators, but they do a great job of something that's been creative and then taking it and shaping it in their image. I love watching that. It's so satisfying. And again, it's one of those things that I think um, sets us apart, not only from other programs, but from other independent studios. And of course, independent studios are popping up all over the place. But once again, I think one of the things that makes us special is that, every right now, lots and lots of people are going, I'm going to start an independent studio. I'm going to start an independent production, and they get crowdfunded and they get all this stuff, but then nobody wants to do the not sexy work. Everyone always wants to do the either character design or they want to be a director. Nobody wants to do all the other stuff, and I feel like not only do we have a great group of people who are doing all the other stuff, but I feel like we're all learning, from them how their side of the job works, and they're learning from you how your side of the job works. That's yet another cachet of experience that you're going to take with you that other people aren't going to get. So I'm really proud of all of you, and I'm really proud of the perspective that you're gaining, and I'm absolutely over the moon about what everyone is bringing to this program. It has, as Tiger will tell you, it has evolved, and there have been many changes, and there have been a lot of things where we've had to dodge and weave, and we've had to go, oh wait, we need to start doing this way. And by the way, we have a laundry list of things that we know we still have to improve on, that we still have to refine. But it's just nice doing this and knowing that there's not some CEO who's never done anything creative in their lives breathing down our necks and telling us what a horrible job we're doing. Um, I don't know. I feel like I expected this to be fun. I didn't expect this to be quite so rewarding and quite so enriching. And I have you guys to thank for that. Um, so, on that note, happy anniversary, everybody. Happy birthday to Fountains Pen Productions. Thank you all again for being here. And now I guess I'll stop filibustering. I'd love to give you all a big hearty zig zig ah, party people. And I guess open the floor up for if anyone has questions, wants to talk, whatever it is. Let's celebrate together.
Ooh. So I just wanted to say real quick, the moment you said your art was mid, 7 people started typing. It's just not true. We,
No,
we we love your art.
look, no. Here's the thing. A quarter century in the industry has given me the type of perspective that allows me the freedom to be very, very, very objective about things. And this is I get really mad when people on social media, because I'll dare say something nice about myself, and then someone will always come back with, "You're such a narcissist," or "Your ego is huge." Like, no, I will go on and on about everything about me that's awful. But for the stuff that I'm good at, I'm going to go ahead and own. And guys, my drawing is mid. I admit it. My storyboarding is much better than average. My directing, I consider to be myself to be one of the better cartoon directors out there. Storytelling, I'm the best there is. Sorry. I mean, Tolkien's dead. Tolkien's dead.
Not to cut you off, but I
I
wanted
should
to
say
give
no. Wait,
sorry, sorry.
wait. I'm not the best there is. I'm the best storyteller I know. But again, that's a quarter century, and even before that of telling stories. That's experience. I'm the best storyteller I know, but that's why I'm all the more inclined to be like, let's have you guys do the other stuff. I'll give you the basis of the story and then hand it off to you guys. And look, I carry my sketchbook around every day, and I practice my drawing, and I don't ever expect to satisfied with it. But one of the things as I truly sort of get over the hump of middle age and on into old age, one of the things that I'm starting to sort of discover, and I would love for you guys to, take this to heart, is that it's a trite saying, but life really is not about the destination. It is about the journey, and it is about the learning, and it is about the hard times, and it is about the scary times. It is all part of the life experience. Without misery, joy would have no meaning. And so you have to look at the hard times and go, okay, life is trying to teach me something here. I'm not only not going to be upset about it, I'm going to be grateful for it, and I'm going to learn from it.
I wanted to give Sky a chance to talk. They have to leave here in a couple minutes. Sky, are you still with us?
Hi, Sky.
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. F. Thank you
Hi.
so much for everything you said. That meant a lot to me personally, and I can speak for everyone, I think, when I say that it meant a lot to everyone here as well. I just want to say something that I also put in a comment here, that when I first joined in, it was early July, a year and a half ago, let's say. I was very hopeful to get in, but in the sort of, oh, I really hope I get in. In the, I just got off animation school, one could call it. In my city, it's not really an animation school, but it was the only thing we had. And it was, all things considered, with everything I saw online, it was a bit lacking, I'm afraid to say, but they did the best they could. So when I first sent you that message, I was so hopeful. I had like 1 or 2 storyboards ever made in my life. So when I got the message that I got in, I immediately told all of my friends. I was so happy. Because when in Greece we do not have an animation industry. If someone studies to be an animator in any way they can, they usually try to go abroad. That is our quote unquote fate. We go to France, we go to the UK, we go to the US if someone is lucky, but you cannot stay in Greece unless you do freelance. So I don't know, I feel like in this program I learned how to grow. I learned how to manage my expectations. I learned how to storyboard properly. Because as I said, I only had 2 storyboards made ever. So this time I feel like I'm more confident in my abilities. I'm more confident in knowing that I have a community here. I've made friends here. I love every single one of them. Even you guys that have talked like once, just know you're my friend. I'm so sorry to tell you. And yeah, I need to go, so I will stop rambling. And I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, Sky.
From
We
the bottom of my
appreciate you.
heart.
Sky, thank you so much. I'm really, really happy that you got to stop by long enough to say that, because I hit the record button in my brain, and that's something I'm going to play over again at times when I'm down. Because again, every now and then in my DM box, I'll get the person who DMs me and is like, "What do you think you're doing? And if they're not accusing me of exploiting you guys, they're just they're telling me what a cockamamie idea this is. um and it's times like that where I hear that from you or from other people that really just, it just warms my heart. Like, I'm having a better time with this than I had on any occasion on the Fairly Odd Parents or Invader Zim or anything like that. Like, it's just so rewarding to be part of something like this and hear that from someone like you. And by the way, that's nothing to take away from those experiences. Those experiences were amazing, but this is just it's so enriching to know that yeah, none of us are making any money, but it's so enriching and it's so nice to hear stuff like that. Because I gotta say, storyboarding is a unique sort of area in the industry because and this is not taking anything away from any of the other, every segment of the industry has its own story to tell, but storyboarding in particular is one of those things where it's very, very hard. If you don't have someone assign you something to storyboard, it's very hard to go,
Mm, yeah.
okay, I'm just going to come up with something and I'm just going to storyboard it. It's really, really hard. And the thing is, um, storyboarding's hard enough. Like storyboarding just as a skill set, it's painfully hard. Um, and I'm someone who made a career out of it. Like that's still what I'm best known for is storyboarding. And people always assume, oh, you must have loved that. No, I hate it. Storyboarding's terrible. It's an awful experience because
Oh
you
no.
take, you take a huge part of yourself and you put it into this thing,
No,
and then a
don't. That's
bunch
a
of people,
secret.
a bunch of people tell you that you did it wrong. And
You know,
no,
we have
but
a whole
here's the
series based on that.
yes. And see, that's the thing. And by the way, there's always somebody who is 10 times better than you. Storyboarding um it will test every ounce of your emotional fortitude. But by the same token, it's also intensely rewarding. It's rewarding in a way that I can't even put into words. I don't think I could put it into a storyboard either. It's its own unique thing. But that's the thing. If you want to be a character designer, it's not as hard to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to design a plumber, or I'm going to design a cowboy, or I'm going to design this, that, or the other. Um, and same thing with backgrounds. I'm going to do a doctor's office, or I'm going to do a farmhouse, or whatever. But the storyboarding, it's such a combination of elements that just if you don't have a thing already at the ready, it's very difficult to just sit down and start doing it. So, the fact that my background is in storyboarding is probably one of the reasons why um, it's one of the areas of this whole process where I take special note of because you guys who want to be sound designers and you guys who want to be editors and you guys who want to be practically every other part of the pipeline, you get left alone by me more than the others because I know very little about what it is you do, and I'm very content to go, you know more than I do. Storyboarding is just so hard, that I know that if I were in this program, I would be grateful to have someone helping me out in that respect. And that's not me doing my own horn. The main thing I want to impart is that storyboarding is really, really hard. um, if you haven't, and by the way, if you're here and you're a storyboard artist and you have not read my storyboarding tutorial, first of all, shame on you. Secondly, go read it because it's really good. Anyway, thank you, Sky. I know she's probably gone, but it was wonderful to hear from Sky. Greece is one of those places I've always wanted to go, and I hate to travel, but I would love to see Greece.
Oh yeah. Definitely redrop that tutorial in the F-bombs later for anybody who might have missed it. That's a
Well,
classic right there. So, would anybody else like
I would
to?
I would love to hear. Yeah, I would love to hear from others. Who else would?
Hi.
Hey, Andrew.
Hi. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'll say some things. So I said a lot of it.
Who am I hearing? Sorry.
Oh, it's me.
Andrew.
Oh, hey, Andrew. Nice to see you, my man.
Hi, hi, hi. All right, so I said a lot of it in the comments, but I'm super, super grateful to be part of the studio, like 2 years into it. It's insane. Like I joined in May of 2023 after like, you know, constantly like improving on my portfolio, but never really finding anything. And then I came across your post and your storyboarding tutorial, which is kind of how I found you as well. I've read that like very religiously, just to let you know. And yes, after that, you sent me that DM and offered me a spot, I did not know then that that was going to change everything for me. I mean, the studio has given me everything. It's given me a community. It's made me want to step up my game with like my art and my own personal projects. It's also given me like my first official credit. It was so validating showing that to all of my family and friends. Like what we're doing is real. Not only is it fun and rewarding, but it's real. That's the biggest thing. Like not just for me, but for all of us. And now I'm just like, it just makes me like want to step up my game even more. And I'm just like deeply, deeply grateful.
Well, Andrew, from the very get-go, your enthusiasm stood out. Like you were off to the races right out of the gate. And the fact that every time I tweet something, you're there retweeting and you're there talking about it. That kind of stuff is, that's the type of stuff that helps keep me going and that helps because there are, I'm sure Tiger has felt this way probably more times than I have, where there are days where you do want to throw up your hands and go, is this worth it? Because it doesn't matter what you're a part of. There's going to be tough times, and there's going to be times where you just are like, I can't believe I have to think about this right now. I can't believe, you know, and you ask yourself, what are we doing here? Is this worth it? Because nobody's making any money. Um, yeah, we have a nice viewership, but I mean, do they even know how much work we put into this? And that's where you're sort of forced to go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Yes, it's wonderful to be part of this community and all that stuff, but I'm doing this so I learn. And so hearing that kind of thing from you and always seeing you retweeting and always seeing you just being active, and I've seen your work progress, it warms my heart. And I can say that about all of you. I've seen everybody, sort of come in, sort of be a little nervous, get their feet wet, stuff like that. And I've seen it all progress. And it's, again, there's something that is actually more rewarding about doing it in this kind of environment than it was even being on the Fairly Odd Parents or being on My Life as a Teenage Robot, where everyone already kind of knew their job. There's something about mentoring and something about teaching that is rewarding in a way that working on regular stuff just doesn't do. And as I said earlier, I hope you all go. I hope you all eventually get way too big for us. But before that happens, I'm going to enjoy having you all around.
Thank you. Also, I'm still like fanboying just a little bit because I've never really like realized until like recently that you're behind some of my like favorite episodes of Fairly Odd Parents, like from the early days. Like, because like I'm just now like starting to like identify like people who like worked on like favorite episodes from my favorite shows, and your name comes up like quite a lot.
Every
So I'm just
time I
like,
rewatch Fairly Odd Parents, I fangirl a little bit. I gotta be honest. And I only rewatched the first 3 or so seasons, so don't get too much
yeah,
further
Look,
than that.
again, I by the time I got to Fairly Odd Parents, I was very fortunate in that by the time I got there, I had kind of found my voice. And I was fortunate in that Butch Hartman, for all of his pluses and minuses, he let me use it. And again, I am not trying to sound arrogant when I say this, but this was a fact. Someone went up to Butch Hartman once because he told me about this, and said, "How come John's episodes are always better? How come those are always just a little bit? The show is great. Every single episode of the show is great, but his are always just a little bit, better." And I don't remember what Butch's answer was. It was probably something like, he gets it from me. But um what I had found at that point by the time I got to Fairly Odd Parents, and then of course I brought it big into my life as a teenage robot, and anything else I could be brought into was um, I always looked for ways to add layers to what I was bringing. I never just accepted the script that I was getting and just acted like a stenographer to it. I was like, how can I add layers to this, and how can I make this deeper than what it is? And what's funny is Fairly Odd Parents was such a goofy show, but I kept wanting to bring even more and more heart into it, and I kept wanting to like add multiple layers, and I had a relative amount of success with that, especially with when I look back on Action Packed. That to me is still probably my favorite episode because it's the one where I basically got to rewrite the script, and I got to add all those layers into it, and canonically I killed Cosmo and Wanda in that episode. They were properly dead for a short period of time. But it was after that when I went on to other stuff, I'm like, oh, this is what I bring. I bring it's not that I can draw so well, it's not that I'm so great at storyboarding, it's not that I'm, this, that, or the other. It's that when I go into something, I ask myself, how can I elevate this? And there's a episode of my life as a teenage robot that I feel like nobody talks about except beyond a context that I won't go into, and it's Last Action Zero, where there's a ton of stuff in there that just works on a lot of levels, and it's the fact that the end of the episode ends with Jenny and Brad, playing a game of rock paper scissors, and it's symbolic of their hands coming together because they've been apart for the whole episode, and it's the symbolism of their hands coming together, and then paper covers rock. That's how they defeat the villain of that episode. And again, you can look at stuff like that, and you can look at the sort of very subtle symbolism of all that, and you can say, nobody's going to notice that. Why do you even bother? And it's like, I think they do. I think on a subconscious level, people recognize when you are taking a tiny piece of yourself or taking a tiny idea that is purely you and putting it into something. And that's why I was talking about earlier that is what we can do that AI can never replace and can never do for us. And that's why, again, I'm praying that everyone is using this program as an opportunity to find out what that is, because it's what made my career worthwhile. Once I sort of knew consciously that that's what I was doing, that's when I started having the most fun.
I wanted to
Yeah,
I
that's
wa-
something that I
oh,
hope
sorry,
to
go
like be
ahead.
really. Oh no, no, I was just saying that that's something I also hope to like be really good at as I like progress as a board artist. Is like knowing, identifying those moments, like knowing what to like inject into the script to like make it, stand out on the page. That's something that takes time to like get good at. I hope I get good at that. Also, that
Practice
AI
makes
was
perfect.
coming so starving. I was so disturbed by that. That is nothing like what Tom and Jerry was when I grew up watching it. Those OG shorts put that clip to shame.
Well, and again, you can't develop those skills if you don't have an arena where, like I said, the only way to get good at something is to start out really bad at it. um,
Oh yeah.
and in a way, it's better to start out really bad at something because then you are forced to learn. And again, even if everyone in here started at a job at a studio tomorrow, they would be robbed of the. It's like, yeah, it would be great, but you would also be robbed of the opportunity to, like I say, be in an environment where you can make those mistakes. It's it's like I say, it's an area where we can all find our voice without outside world worrying about hearing our voice crack, to create a really awkward metaphor. Anyway, thank you, Andrew. That means the world to me, and it means the world to me that you're so enthusiastic and so into the studio. And I see your tweets and I see your posts, and I'm really grateful for you. I'm grateful for everyone here. So thank you for saying all that.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you and everyone else. I've improved a lot more as a board artist here than I have like in the last like 2 3 years, like when I was just doing it on my own. Like the difference between like my early boards to like what they're like now, there's a pretty big difference. But I feel like more me when I'm boarding. I'm
Andrew,
trying
you
to
had
reset.
mentioned IMDb. I wanted to give a shout out to Nightsy. Thank you for setting up the IMDb page for Underdog. It's still a bit of a work in progress, but we do have most people up there. If you worked on Underdog and you didn't have an IMDb page, you have one now. So definitely check that out. Or if you have one already and you posted the link in the server, we were sure to include it in there. Um, we're gonna get started on getting Floccinocci&Tip up on IMDb next. That'll be the next big project, and then after that, we're gonna try and tackle getting all the found tunes up there. It's gonna take us some time, but keep an eye out for that. If you worked on 9 projects on Fountains Pen Productions, you're about to have 9 projects on your IMDb soon, so that's gonna be pretty exciting.
By the way, and I'm sorry, whoever wants to talk next, I will make this very, very brief. But this was a point I wanted to make earlier because this came up in my Twitter feed earlier this week when I was talking about name an animator that's not Chuck Jones or Walt Disney, and a couple people took great delight in saying Walt Disney wasn't an animator. To which, of course, my reply was, well, first of all, yes, he was. Secondly, I don't know how everyone else feels. I don't know how everybody
Yeah.
else. I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but as far as I'm concerned, and I'm the boss, within the walls of Fountains Pen Productions, the virtual walls of Fountains Pen Productions, um, you are all animators, as far as I'm concerned. We are all in the business of making cartoons. We are all here making cartoons together. Now, as animators, some of us are sound designers, and some of us are editors, and some of us are the people who do the web development, and some of us work on promotional materials. But we are all animators. We are all making cartoons. So again, I know I'm never going to get everyone to go along with me on that. That everyone is an animator. But that's how I see it. I see we are all making cartoons together. So, and I've been saying this since I began my career. Everyone in animation has the same job: make the next person's job fun. And whoever was going to talk next, feel free to chime
Oh,
in.
I just wanted to add one more thing.
I'll
Sorry, it got mentioned a couple times. We
like
we always say that this is part of the experience. You know, F mentioned a few times there might be the stressors some days, days we want to kick the bucket, but you gotta. What helped me stop feeling that was realizing that it's not a stressor, it's part of the simulation. You know, if these things happen, it's all part of the studio experience. You know, sometimes things get changed, sometimes projects get canned or they get rebooted, and that's very realistic to what happens in the studio experience. So it's I'm happy we get to experience all those things here, and I especially nowadays I turn any negative into a positive learning experience, and I'm just like, all right, how can we learn from this, and where are we going next?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head with by saying it's all part of the simulation. If we're all in this big VR experience here, it is part of it. And by the way, um, if if you think the struggles here are real, oh my gosh, are they ever real? So again, in a weird way, it's good anytime something bad or hard or difficult happens while we're doing this, because that will prepare you for the studio experience, because that's where everything gets amped up. We're knocking on the door of an hour, but I do want to give anyone or everyone the opportunity if they want to chirp up and talk. So
Oh yes,
you know
we have a queue here. Clotilde, you want to go ahead? You still with us?
Hi. Yeah, so basically this year and a little bit of last year as well has been a bit weird artistically for me, because it's my final year of animation studies of my master's degree, and well, you said that the situation has been complicated for everyone in the animation industry right now, and it reached France, the year where I'm graduating. So everyone around me, or teachers, the pros that who come and talk about their jobs and everything, talk about how it's hard right now to find jobs and to find to keep going, even though like they've worked on Arcane, they've worked on in big studios and stuff like that, and they still right now can find jobs. And us who are juniors and beginners and barely graduating, we all kind of have this pressure of we've spent 5 years studying, and I'm in 3D, but this studio is one of the few projects where I can still do 2D in animation, which is one of my other, well, one of the reasons I started working in this in the first place. And this studio and the projects that we do here are one of the few times where I felt like I felt like my art was like not necessarily worth something, as in my work wasn't worth something before, but like it's useful and it's gonna be useful to continue projects and to continue making stuff to remind people that we're in a creative environment, and we want to create for people and to make people laugh and dream and all of that. So yeah, I haven't been able to work as much as I wanted this year because it's my final year and I've been very busy. But I've always made a point to try and be there as much as possible, at least in talk, because even just that has been like very useful, like for my mental health, and just hearing about people being happy to work on animation projects and just projects in general. It's been a lot of good, and I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really happy to be working with so many talented people. Um, Shout out especially to the comic team, who's been doing just fantastic work every time, and literally everyone else. I'm always so happy to see all the shorts that are coming out, all the cartoons that are coming out. It's such great work. Yeah.
Chloe, you
Thank
practically.
you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Chloe, you practically run that comic single-handedly, and your team is so amazing. It always blows my mind how smoothly that's going.
It's looking amazing, and again, you guys are tackling the project that I am probably most picky about, and you're doing a great job. Yeah, for those who don't know, we're also creating a comic, and it's looking fantastic. Thank you for everything you just said. Your sentiments reflect a lot of what I'm hearing, and it's why again I feel grateful to have um you know stumbled upon this opportunity for all of us to benefit from this. And guys, again, I know a lot of you are in school, and I know a lot of you say things like, I don't get to work on this as much as I would like to. Hey, same here. I wish I could do nothing all day except look through everything all you guys are doing, but in a way that works to your advantage because it means I can't micromanage. And again, that speaks to one of the biggest lessons that I've learned since starting this, and one of the lessons that I think I've been able to pass along in this program is the tendency we have as artists to just go, okay, oh geez, I want to do this comic or I want to do this film, but I got to give it a whole bunch of thought first. And you get so up in your head that you never just do it. This environment gives us an opportunity to stop thinking about it so much and just do it and just get it done. I think that's one of the most valuable things that can come out of this, because of course when you're in school, you have to think about a grade, and when you're at a job you have to think about a paycheck. Here you just have to think about, what am I learning, and am I learning, and could I learn more, and how can, and all that stuff. So thank you so much, and you're doing a great job. Again, thank you for echoing what I think are the sentiments of a lot of people here.
Yeah, well, thanks for putting all this together. Yeah, and I'm keeping preciously, just because I didn't really know where to put it, where to thank for that, but I'm keeping preciously the Christmas gifts that you sent. Um, I'm keeping it on my desk where I can see it, because it's kind of all of that. All of that for me is just a proof that what I'm doing and what we are doing here is useful, and it's just beautiful in general. And yeah, all of that. Also, shout out to Mr.
Well,
L for
again,
almost doing all the layouts all by himself for the second comic.
Oh yeah.
again, when you think of this as one big giant collaborative art project, it's it kind of gives you the freedom to go, oh yeah, this is important what I'm doing. It might not be paying my rent, and it might not be, putting food on my table, but I am engaged in a very experimental, very sort of grassroots art project. And I don't know, I derive a tremendous amount of satisfaction about by that. And look, I've said it a million times. I've said it from the very beginning. Um, I long, I ache, I desperately desire to get the channel to a place where we are monetized and I can start paying people. Um, we've been slapped in the face with some of the harsh realities of what that involves, and basically it involves, just getting a gazillion billion subscribers and getting a gazillion billion watch hours logged before you can even hope to actually start, doling out money. Now, I have come, just seeing how much we've grown in 2 years. I can't help but be optimistic about what our chances are of that happening. Um, but we need to be happy about it in the meantime. And look, boy, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have been hammering away at social media trying to get our watch hours up so that we can get monetized. And I have been looking for any excuse to repackage stuff and repost it so that, more and more traffic comes to the site and we get the watch hours up. And and there are other plans that I'm not going to go into. Tiger and I talk frequently and ad nauseum about what can we do, how can we work, what can we create other aspects of the program where we are also an outsourced studio. Can we do this? Can we do that? We are constantly banging our heads together trying to get to that point. And like I said, I can't help but sort of indulge in the optimism that not only will we get there, but once we're there, I think it's gonna grow exponentially. But as life has taught me time and time again, you can't say to yourself, "I'll be happy when I'm there." You have to say, "I have to figure out a way to enjoy it while I'm here where I'm at right now." And thanks to you people, even if we never make a dime, I'll walk away from this going, that was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
All right.
Tiger, are there any other questions queued up?
Yes, we have 5 more people who wanted to talk. Let's start wrapping this down. If everybody could maybe limit to a minute or two. Um, Angel, if you want to go next.
Surprisingly, I don't have a lot to say for once. My mother once said I could out-talk a Jabberwock, and that was not a compliment. But I just want to say, when I graduated college in 2020. I had a studio position in LA lined up. And you can probably guess what happened to that since I graduated in spring of 2020. And I spent the next 3 years being exploited, not paid, and not credited in various internships that honestly put me off from the entire industry at some point. And I didn't draw because of that, I didn't draw for like a year. I didn't pick up a Wacom pen. And then I contacted F on a whim because I was like, it can't hurt to ask about this program. And then I got in, which blew me away. But it's been really hard the past year. I recently upended my entire life to move somewhere where my mental health would be better. And so I haven't had as much time to draw as I'd like because I only was recently able to cut 4 jobs down to 3. But I am always going to consider this experience to be the first real experience in the industry because it was the first one where I actually didn't want to fake my own death and become a sheep herder in the Himalayas.
I feel that very much. And now
So
you're doing so many different projects here. You have animation and
I definitely bite off more than I have the tendency to bite off more than I can chew. But which is funny because I keep telling my students not to do that, and then I turn around and do the exact same thing. But I'm just really passionate about it. I am multifaceted. I contain multitudes. But I just want to say that I am eternally going to be grateful to all of you, and especially to F, because it reminded me why I spent so much of my life um doing working towards this, and now I actually might have a pitch. So like that I did not see myself doing that ever again. Um so I'm going to cut myself off there.
Well, Angel, that again, that just warms my heart. Thank you for those things, and you bring up a really really important point, um, and it's one of the things that I didn't necessarily see forming quite the way it did, and that is the sense of community that we all have here. You know, I figured that people would get along, and I figured that there would be, but I also figured there would be people who didn't get along. And by the way, that does happen. That's just people. But by and large, the sense of community that I see, because like I said, during some of my dark days, um, I would sneak into the server when virtually no one was around, and I would just scroll past conversations you guys were having, and it would really just warm my heart to see you all supporting one another, encouraging one another, giving each other tips. You know, again, there's so many things going on here that you won't get in a studio experience because you're not artists, you're employees. And again, that's not a bad thing. It's something we're hoping, I hope all of you have to deal with that eventually. But um, this sense of community that has been created here, sort of as a natural evolution, it's life affirming, you know, and you get to be around other artists who help to keep you going and help to keep you feel inspired. And you know, yes, I had friends when I was working at all the various studios, and we would encourage each other. And nothing like this, because we're all in the boat of we're all a little bit vulnerable. We're all a little bit raw, and we're all ready to learn. And I want to thank you for bringing up that point, because, like I said, I hope each and every one of you eventually gets too big for us, and that we just wound up being a stop on the way to your ultimate ultra successful career path. But I hope we will provide everyone with some memories that they can look back on and say that that helped in some capacity.
So up next, we have Vitus, but I also just wanted to, before that, poke a little bit at C JoJo here. We haven't mentioned his name once. He's one of the legendary cogs that keeps this place turning every single day. I just need to get that name out there. We all love you, JoJo.
Yeah, C JoJo had the misfortune of being promoted a while back. Now he has to, C JoJo has to deal with me directly, and so both thank you and sorry.
Vitus, you want to take us away?
Hello.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining.
Yep. Hey. I'll try to keep this short because essentially everyone said what I was gonna say. So, it's been really amazing, like being a part of such a talented collaborative group. It's like I don't know how to put the words together, but it's just simply awesome. Like I like everyone else here. I create for the love of the craft. You know, something that we all just want to do. We just all want to create. There's just something about that imagination that really gets people. You know, and like being in an area where where everyone has that one thing in common. It's just simply amazing. I don't know what other words to put it. Like I'm not very good with words, as you can see, because I'm best at expressing myself with art than with actual words. But I just want to say I'm very thankful to be here because it's always something I wanted to do, just create with other people.
Well, we're grateful to have you, and you just triggered something in my head that was another one of these things that the industry does to people that I've never quite understood, and that I wanted to sort of actively be the antidote to that. I mean, one of the things I hope everyone is doing here is practicing breaking outside of their own comfort zones, practicing creating art in different styles, working with other people, collaborating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things that I've always found really, really aggravating and frustrating about the animation industry was how if you've got a show gearing up and it is done in the style of I don't know, Clone High, and you're a board artist or you're a character designer, and you've got this amazing looking portfolio, but you've never worked in the exact style of Clone High, or you've never worked in the exact style of Animaniacs, or you've never worked in the exact style of this, that, or the other. They want nothing to do with you. Um, my whole career, I never got to work on a legacy show. Like I never got to work on Peanuts. I never got to work on Looney Tunes. I never got to work on anything Mickey Mouse or Goofy or Donald related. Never got to work on anything Scooby Doo related. Never got to work on anything like that because I didn't have any of that stuff in my portfolio. And it always struck me as crazy and counterintuitive to be like, okay, here's this person who's really great at their job, but because they've never done it in exactly this style before, I'm not going to give them a chance or I'm not going to hire them. It just makes no sense to me because to me, that's the sign that that person's going to bring you something that nobody else on the staff will have. And again, it's one of the things that I'm really delighting in watching as you guys do is you bring your individual voices to this. And yes, you are learning to adapt with and work with other people and work with other styles and everything, but you're all bringing your own individual voice to this. So I don't care that you're not as good as articulating it with words. I don't need you for that. I'm great at articulating things with words. I'm grateful and happy to have you here because there are things you can do better than I can, and those are the things that I want to grapple onto, and I want you to partake in. So thank you for your kind words, and thank you for being a part of all this. Nice to see you.
Yep. I'm thankful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you,
What else we
Vitus.
got, Tiger?
All right. We're wrapping this up. Thank you so much, everybody. We got Alma Dialgo. You want to go real quick?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Well, I'm going to. A lot of people that came before me have said things that I wanted to say, so there's not much that I can't, you know, say. So, but first, I stumbled upon this studio by chance, just looking up Twitter, and I said, yeah, why not? I don't have. I've been dropping my reel everywhere. I haven't seen any response, so why not another rejection, right? But you all accept me. I my first work here was on Tactical Cooler, and I've never done puppet animation before, so it was like, oh, I'm already starting to do things that I've never done before. Um, So it was already like, oh, I'm just going to. First, I was like, oh, I'm just going to do a couple of shots here. Maybe it will come and go. But then when I finished with Tactical Cooler, I was invited to work on Floccinocci&Tip, and it was such a fun work, and it was super cool when UF started to share the run cycles that I've made with the two characters, like, oh, my work is being seen.
That's like the best shot. Sorry, I love that shot right there.
It was such a fun shot. Both shots that I work on it, super fun, super fun characters, and now I'm working with Petty Avenger, and it's also such a fun project, super cartoony. Uh, I'm animating a character that is so outside of my comfort zone, and
Love
I'm
that.
experimenting a lot with animation, trying to make it super Looney Tunes style. So thank you so much, because this experience is teaching me a lot, getting me a lot of my comfort zone, and also I also received a Christmas present a bit late. I received it just a couple weeks ago, but it's still so nice to feel seen, not just another face, another name. So thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you, and thank you again for offering forth that sentiment. See, a lot of you are saying the same thing, but you're each saying it in a different way, and you're saying things that keep triggering things in my head. And you kept mentioning your comfort zone, which again, that is so important. It is so important that we all be challenged to break outside of our comfort zone, because if there's no one there to challenge it, you're probably not going to do it on your own. And even if you do try and do it on your own, you're going to take it easy on yourself. You know, you need something to kick your ass every now and then. And that's yet another service I hope that we're providing here. But what's, and you also said this, which, you know, your specific shots and all that stuff. That's the thing. I think when the average viewer watches Floccinocci&Tip or Report Card or any of Underdog, anything that we put out, I'm sure the average viewer just sees them as this one cartoon, and they enjoy it. They get their experience out of it, and they walk away, and hopefully they walk away happy. I see them, and I can kind of tell who did what. And I do see you. I see the little bits of all of you in all of these things. Some are more overt, some are really obvious, but some are really subtle. And it's the subtle ones that are some of my absolute favorites. So um I'm like the father of a chorus of singers, and yes, I can hear the song, but I can also hear your individual voices, and it's it's really delightful to me, and there's nothing quite like it. So yes, not only do I see you, I see you vividly, and it brings me great joy. Anybody else, Tiger?
Can you guys hear me? Sorry, Working Dreamer, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll be quick here, but uh, 10 months ago, I reached out to F via Twitter. I have always wanted to be part of this industry ever since I was 5 years old, rewatching those how they make the movie VHS tapes before Disney films. I used to watch those over and over again. And as my college did not offer animation, they had telecommunications, so I went for that. And I graduated in 2016, and I was not able to find a job in my industry. And up till that point, I was so disheartened. I was seeing the beginnings of the downfall of the industry, and or what seemed to be at the time. And I just had nothing left to lose. So I sent you a message just for advice, and that DM led me to joining this team. And I'm going to get emotional, but it's been such an honor working with you guys, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking a chance on me. I never had a portfolio or anything. I just had fan animatics on YouTube because that was the only thing I thought I could put this passion towards it, because I had almost given up on this dream. And I am so grateful to be a part of this team, to continue working with you all, and to improve. And like this has meant everything to me. So thank you guys so much for taking a chance on me.
That really touches my heart there. Seeing we work very closely together on all the projects we've worked on, and seeing you improve and seeing all the work and the love you put into these projects, it's really beautiful, and we appreciate you.
I'm not crying, you're crying. No, again, it's another one of those things that I feel blessed to be in a position where, again, because we're not making any money and because we don't have studio heads breathing down our necks, I'm in a position where I not only have to, but I get to look for people in places that I wouldn't have ordinarily, thought of. And again, there are so many of us, and I say us because I was you. I was like you. I by sheer providence, stumbled into the industry when they were giving anyone who could hold a pencil could get a storyboarding job. That is the only reason I was able to get in. And I'm very, very aware of the fact that that was fortuitous. Now, did I work hard? Absolutely. And the second I got a job, I put my nose to the grindstone and I got to work to make sure that I could catch up with everybody else. But if I were starting out today, there's no way anyone would listen to me. So I delight in finding people from different pockets and people who and again, you were putting up YouTube videos, and again, that to me, just to have the initiative to put yourself out there, just to have the emotional bravery to put yourself out there like that, um that's already worth more than a Cal Arts degree as far as I'm concerned. Just that bravery, because there are so many people who will never ever reach out. There are people who are never going to take a risk like the risk you guys have taken. You're spending your time. And time is that one thing that they're not making any more of. You are taking time out of your life to spend on this thing. There's so many people who would never even bother because they're like, I'm not getting paid. Why am I going to do it? And then consequently, they're never going to go anywhere. They're never going to get the tools necessary to get to what they claim they want. And that's the thing. This program acts as a test because everyone out there is saying, "Oh, I want it really bad." Do you? Do you want it badly? Do you want it badly enough to come do this? Because if the answer is yes, then great, we want to work with you. But for the and by the way, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to do stuff if they're not getting paid. Do not get me wrong. But you people who are willing and who are so passionate about it that you're willing to roll the dice on this. To me, just that just speaks volumes. And I feel like it's because so many of us have a similar story to that, that you can bring more energy and a type of energy that other people can't bring. And I don't think the studio would be what it is without that mix of people with varying degrees of experience. You know, some people have lots of experience. Some people have somewhere in the middle. Some people have absolutely none. But the one thing you all have in common is that you all at one point reached out directly to me, and that just makes all the difference in the world. And one of the things I've been meaning to point out too, that I find kind of interesting, what a diverse group we've got here. I mean, my goodness, when you look at all of us together, we represent the scope of the entire human experience. People with accents that I can't even place, people of different ages, people of different backgrounds, just all over the place. It's wonderful, and I think this studio, beyond all of the other stuff we've talked about today, it stands as an example of what happens when you give everyone in the choir their chance to their chance to shine. I keep going back to the choir analogy. You give a voice where we can all sing together. I think it's a testament to just how valuable that is, and I'm happy that I'm in a position where via this program we're taking advantage of it, and we're not seeing it as a liability or a hassle or anything. It's part of what's making us special.
Thank you. But I really appreciate just being a part of this. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is mine. How we doing, Tiger?
Good, we're almost, we got 3 more people to go here. We got JD up next.
Hello. So, oh man, like everyone else, like very grateful for the stuff that you've done for all of us and everything. I had previously attempted to intern for DreamWorks twice, because they offered remote positions and stuff. And it was like, okay, I'll try. And I got rejected twice. Both times it was, it was like, yeah, that's a bummer, but it's like, I know, like, if, things could get better. And then once I got, the response from you and everything to be a part of this, it was like, oh, this is great. I get to meet people, I get to improve myself. And then just, and it spiraled from there. Even in like the 2 years time since I started here, my work has changed so much since like doing stuff, like literally to the point where I actually recreated one of my character design model sheets I did for one of your shorts. And it's just like, it's like night and day when you see them side by side. It's for the one that's under the temp title Urinine. Like the character design is so much better now because I improved so much. And then doing the model sheet for another short that we're doing for the Z projects, the Turkey. Just doing like a unique kind of art style and everything. And one of the things that I've wanted to push myself doing is adapting art styles and getting to, like, I've been practicing a lot of SpongeBob stuff. And shout outs to to Andrew, who anytime I share like the artwork that I've done of my SpongeBob studies of like Plankton and Mr. Krabs and even doing like a storyboard practice, he's like, why aren't you working for SpongeBob? And it's like, well, I wish I could, but they're all in-house over in LA, and I am trying to get there. It's just a matter of saving up my money. And my plan, though, first is just to, because I talked to an animator who worked on the Looney Tunes movie, Michael Ruoko. I don't know how to pronounce it, unfortunately. But he gave me some, genuine advice where it's like, have a financial safety net and, have like the like a fallback plan basically. And I already know, like, when I do eventually move to LA, which is like the end of next year is my plan, because I'm going to save up to have like at least like 10 grand in my savings. And then I would move over there and then just get a basic like 9 to 5 somewhere in LA. Like I'm a manager at a movie theater, so I can just get a manager job at a movie theater there, get stable there, and then make the attempt to really like push myself to get in there. And being a part of this group has given me that confidence a lot more lately, and I greatly appreciate you guys for that.
Well, thank you. And once again, you've brought up an excellent point. It was not that long ago, you guys, where I was also working a really gritty day job because, like I said, my life, the life of my family got upturned, and I had to do whatever it took. Um, and it's really easy to sort of be resentful of those situations, but I would impart upon all of you that those are the times where the record button in your brain should be on and the focus should be sharp, because those are the things that are going to help you find the thing about you that you can bring that nobody else can bring. If you take someone who's done nothing their whole life but draw in the style of Naruto or whatever, and they've never ventured out into the big bad world and never had to lift heavy boxes or never had to report to a manager that can't stand them or had to do this, that, or the other. These are the things that feed your creativity. So I know the industry is going through a really rough time, and I don't know when it's going to bounce back. But here's the thing: I don't think the industry is over. I think it's changing, and I think you guys are going to be better equipped to change with it and lots of other people who are used to doing things a certain way because that's the way they've always been done. We are here to bob, pivot, and weave, and hopefully that's something we're teaching you guys. Well, we're lucky to have you. Thank you for being a part of it all, and thank you for showing up here today. We're going long because I'm talking too much, so let's move on to what's next.
Avi, you wanna go ahead?
Yes, I'm right here. Thank you. Well, first of all, everyone, have a happy second anniversary of the company. I'm so excited and grateful to be here. I've always known that I've wanted to work in art or animation ever since I was like 4 or 5 years old watching Beauty and the Beast in my family's TV room and watched obsessively all the behind the scenes of Tangled. I've kind of always known that I've wanted to be involved in this. Unfortunately, I live in a place where things like art or animation are very overseen, so I kind of already knew that if I wanted to break into the industry or have any involvement with this, I would have to do it on the internet, and that's kind of what kicked me to upload my drawings to Instagram or Blue Sky and make my YouTube channel. But I did not think that I would end up here. I never thought that I would get my hands dirty and do comics and do illustrations to advertise all of the amazing cartoons you've all worked on. So this has really pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and take on different challenges, and I'm so thankful for the experience, and I am so excited to be working on future projects with you all, and I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm so happy to be here. Have a good one, everyone. I'm so grateful for everyone here.
Well, again, thank you for all of those sentiments, and thank you for yet again triggering something that I have been meaning to mention this whole time. First of all, we're lucky to have you. Thank you for being here. Secondly, future projects. Holy cow! Everybody, we are, as many of you know, but some of you may not know to what extent, we are just getting started. You know, you almost can't. 2 years is not a long period of time, but you almost can't even count that first year, because that first year was spent just getting our footing and just figuring out, okay, how's this going to work? How do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this? Guys, we're not going to get worse at this. We're only going to get better. And the projects that we've got coming up are even more ambitious, and are even more just sort of out there. And now that we've kind of got a pretty good footing on a lot of the logistics of it, we're able to experiment more. So, boy, it's an exciting time to be part of all this. And I'm saying that as though I'm someone who submitted and got taken in, but that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I'm here with you guys, and I'm excited about the future of what we're going to do. I mean, everything we've done so far is nothing shy of glorious in my mind. but we've got some gangbuster stuff coming. So thank you for saying that.
And of
All right,
course,
how many
last
more
but
we got,
not
Tiger?
least, we have our fearless third in command, C. Jojo. You want to take us to Valhalla?
Yeah. Howdy, y'all. Um, happy second year anniversary for the studio. It's been like just like a pleasure to like be able to like work with all of y'all, whether you're like my friend or my acquaintance or my colleague. Like there's just been like a lot of like just interesting work that has been been coming to fruition throughout the studio. There's sometimes been some challenges, but it's but at the end of the day, we're all vol- volunteering our time, and I think with that, keeping things closer to the fun zone while also being a learning experience. I think that's like a baseline that I'd I want to continue seeing here. And my story with joining here is, I think I've maybe sometimes mentioned it before. It's not exactly the most like conventional. Like I when it comes to things like I'd want to be like, if something could be my dream, I'd want to be like a game director. Like an being in animation is something that just kind of happened. Animation has always been a medium I enjoyed, though it was when I saw it being shared on socials about the studio, it was like a curiosity for me to get like see if I can get my feet wet into like um the entertainment um industry medium in some shape or form. And it's and nonetheless, it's been like, I think, very important for me in my development as an artist, getting like more direction when it comes to just like wanting to focus on being a better artist so I can like do more for the studio and like vice versa. And like I I am grateful to have gotten to work with all of y'all. You're a fantastic group of people.
Well, we were really lucky to have you come along, see Jojo, and I'm infinitely grateful to you for the contribution that you're bringing to us. And once again, you bring up an excellent point. Um, you know, you aspire to be into games. I never really aspired to be in animation. I wanted to do newspaper comics, and then I wanted to do comic books. I didn't want to get into animation. In getting into animation, I discovered another part of me that wanted to express myself in this way. Um, and that could be true for all of us, regardless of what path you wind up taking later on in your life, even if it has nothing to do with media or the art. I would like to think that we're all here also growing as people. We are once again, we're being challenged to work with others and answer to others and have others answer to us. Boy, that's a big thing that has come out of this that I've really enjoyed watching, is seeing other people burdened with the task of leadership. Because it's real easy to go into a project like this, and I think a lot of independent projects go into stuff like this going, "Oh, we're all equal, man. We're all just gonna chip in." It's like, no, it won't work that way, or at least you'll never get anything done. You have to delegate, and you have to have people in charge of other things, and therefore you have to have people answer to you, and you have to answer to other people. that is incredibly valuable, and it's another skill that I feel like is going by the wayside. So, um, again, it's the diversity of this crowd and the diversity of everyone's backgrounds and the diversity of what everybody brings to this. I feel like is one of those things you almost never could have planned it. You couldn't have planned it to be this good, and yet here we all are benefiting from one another. And I just I think it's an amazing thing, and I think uh, like I said, it's one of the things I look forward to checking in on all the time. And it's one of the joys I experience in my life. And like I said, this is only the beginning. We are just getting started, and there are a million different avenues we could go down with this. So I'm excited for all of the possibilities. But if all of the possibilities just wind up being continuing to do what we're doing here, I will be perfectly happy with this. I'm having a blast. Um, I had something really important I was going to talk about. Give me a second. Amongst yourselves. Nope, it's gone. Oh, here's what it is. This is what I wanted to end it all on. Or at least end my contribution to it on. I wanted to end on an apology. I wanted to apologize to all of you uh, if I have not been as readily at your disposal. And I want you all to know that if you ever reach out to me and a long time goes by and you don't hear back from me, please pester me until I get you what you are looking for, because I owe you at least that. And I'm going to beg your forgiveness if you have sent me a DM and I haven't gotten back, or if you have wanted to but felt like you couldn't. Please understand that that is absolutely not true. I am here as a resource to you. So please, if I have not let you or facilitated you feeling comfortable with that, please forgive me for not doing it more effectively. And please know that I am a resource at your disposal. And I want to be here for each and every one of you as much as I possibly can. So I apologize if I haven't made that abundantly clear, but I'm hopefully doing it right now. I am here for you, and I will give you as much of my time as I possibly can, in as much as you need it. Please just be very patient with me, because I'm not only the dad to a 9-year-old. I'm an old dad to a 9-year-old, so I'm getting old myself, and I'm out there still hustling myself, just like all of you. I'm still just kind of trucking through this thing we call life. But I am here for you, and I am very eager to repay your hard work in any way that I can. So um, please just always think of me in that light. Um, I'm gonna let Tiger put the pretty bow on the end of all this, because as we all know, Tiger is really the one who runs things. So, by the way, if you have all not taken a moment out of your time in the past 2 years to give Tiger a special thanks, do it when we wrap up here. Send him a DM. Tell him how much you appreciate him, because really
Oh,
none of this would be happening without Tiger, who was here from the very beginning. He was one of the very first people, possibly the second person to respond and volunteer to do all the hardest, all the stuff that I can't possibly do. So please extend your gratitude to Tiger, and just know every day that if you're having a good time, if you are learning, it's very largely because of him. Um, he really is the one steering this ship, and it would not be happening without him. So please, please extend yourselves to him, and allow me to take this final opportunity to thank you all once again for joining me in this crazy madcap experiment that we started together. And I very much look forward to what we do in our third year. Zigga zigga, party people.
hey, thank you, F. I appreciate that so much. I never thought I'd be leading a team of 200 people. It's pretty freaking insane to me. But you know what? All those times as a kid where I had to go and do a speech in front of the entire school have paid off. Uh, finally. Um, I have pretty much exhausted all my announcements. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you everybody for coming today, for all you do for FPP. We have many exciting things coming very soon. If you keep an eye out. Yeah, I have my stream up. I want to show you guys um, something coming very soon. A little sneak peek. Hold on. I'm on the wrong screen there. I'm gonna have to switch over to Discord. This is coming soon, animated by Techie Animator. It's loud. Okay, sorry about that. Turn your headphones down real quick.
That Lucy Goose sure is taking his time. Oh no! What if the plan didn't work? No! The plan, the plan, the plan. Yes, the plan. It was, seems to have slipped my palm. I can't quite remember.
So yes, that it's still a work in progress, but that's sort of the boneless chicken epilogue. That's keep an eye out for that. Yeah. Oh sh yeah. Yeah, sorry if the stream did not show up properly. But that's just a little bit. The whole thing is like 2 minutes long now. It's really turned into something absolutely insane. And we had a few of the other people of the server involved. Weird Joe, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the voice actor's name at the moment. I think Sky could tell me their name, but Sky left. All right. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming out, and yeah, uh, I'm not gonna say Ziggy Zigga because that's the F thing. Have a good day.